Hello. All right, I'm back. And I think I want to try where again. Let's try and. Look at some modifies. Where am I? Program print? What's this about? What is this? Program print. Receive message. Well, this is some weird code. It's all in a giant string literal, too. I wonder if I can help out with this. Yeah, I bet the background color got like hard coded in somewhere. I can't be bothered. I'm definitely not messing with that. What do I care about in here? Like, is there documentation on modify? Because I'm sure that I saw... I'm sure that I saw some code, yeah. Yeah. Let's try a few more things. That can't help. There's no way that writing it out as a string and inserting running it is going to help me here. I think, yeah, we tried this. So like, I'm not being very verbal right now. So in order to build a SQL and, the problem here that I'm trying to solve is that the structure of a SQL and of a SQL where is that it's composed polymorphically of like a SQL expression that like powers it, right, that like governs like what is the actual code that we're going to ship over the wire to Postgres, and some like args count, which is derived, which is like right, like governs the size of the like array of args that we pass in here. So this syntax doesn't work because you can't sprint, and this syntax doesn't work because you can't run in a yeah, argument or return block. And I get that that's like an impossible thing because like polymorphically you need like these types to do a pattern match to figure out like statically how to dispatch things. And like your solver might not be able to handle this complexity. Okay. So like what can we do? I wonder if there's just like a different kind of polymorphism that we could handle. You know? Like, is the problem that we're running this sprint at compile time? And if we were just doing simpler operations, things would be fine? Maybe. Let's try that, right? Let's go for like SQL and where. Alright, SQL where and, which is a struct with a left-hand side SQL where which is a type, and a right-hand side SQL where, which is a type, and it's like polymorphic on args count as well, I guess. Yeah, okay, and so for these, what are we gonna do? I don't know. But alright, so like maybe with like this structure, we can write, so like the times that we access SQL expression directly, we'll need to be sure to actually be hitting this like toString instead. But there aren't like all that many. There's an insert, a select, an update, select, update. Yeah, there aren't like a ton of places where I'm messing with this. So I think that this is going to return a SQL where and, where the left-hand side SQL where is equal to left-hand side SQL where, and I don't know, is this declarative enough? Does this build? Okay. Get that out of here. Oh no, I need this still. SQL and left hand side, right hand side. And these two map together. And do that. Uh-huh. Does that build? Does that do anything for me? Hey, that builds. Okay, okay. There's hope. Return. That with SQL where and left dot. Alright, I should really like toString these, right? Okay, so the real interesting trick here is that, so I think this type is going to have to be known at compile time. That seems cool. I wonder if this blows things up. So it seems like for one level of... Yeah, let's figure it out. Does that build? No. ToString matches multiple possible overloads. Okay. Oh, because it's probably like null, right? ToString with whatever. Can I say this? This doesn't seem allowed. Is there like a guard expression? I need to look at some how-tos about calling procedures, probably. And what I'm curious about is really like if I say like when this toString, whatever, I'll call this SQL WHERE toString, SQL WHERE toString. Okay, and when I actually get a pointer to SQL WHERE, I do one thing, and when I get one that supports SQL WHERE and I'll do another. Okay, but really it's like if I get... But I guess is that the pointer might be null or might not be null, huh? So maybe I... Is that right? What do we got? What am I calling on this where? Let's do that. And do this. And do that. And this probably oh, what? Okay, can I bring back... Can I do this? Hey! Wow, alright, this might actually work. Okay, let's let's test this and, huh? Okay. So... describe and it'll be like left hand side is gonna be SQL where of like, I don't know, ID equals something with one arg, and the right hand side is gonna be SQL where of like birthday between one thing and another thing with two args, and let's say So to test this, I want to say, alright, so SQL, so like I could say like anded, and let me like set args on this, right? So LHS dot arg 0 is gonna be, let's say 12, and right hand side dot arg 0, let's say that's like, I don't know, between like 1990 and 2000. Cool. Let's say that and is gonna be SQL where and between left hand side and right hand side. And what do we care about? We expect and, or the SQL where to string of and to equal, we want ID, we need like double parens, ID equals one thing, and birthday between one thing and another thing. Let's just like start there and see what we get. Does this pass? No. I'm missing semicolon somewhere for sure. No? Line 17? Where? SQL where spec, oh, line 7. Oh my god. The single quotes. Why do I keep doing that? Right. Procedure call to not match any of the possible overloads. Oh, because I'm passing in a type. Alright. This is not... This is doing some... whatever. Uh-huh. Maybe if I have like a constant one and it's a type, then I can just return SQL where dot SQL expression. I don't know, this seems like a bad idea, but alright. It seems like it's only gonna work on like one level, one like nested level of these ands though, right? Maybe if I just like... There's like no way, right? This can't possibly... Right? This can't possibly be it. There's no chance. This would never... Yeah. Oh wait, double colon. Identical argument lists, right, I figured. I wonder if I could put like an additional... I guess what I was hoping for was that like I might be able to use... that it might be like clever enough to observe that I'm like asking different things. I don't know. Be more polymorphic. Give me more type constraints. Matches possible overloads. Yeah. But if I do this, right, target type is not a struct, that makes sense. Huh. Really tripping over this type system right now, aren't I? Wow, I might actually have a couple of viewers. Hello, everyone. Welcome. Currently just trying to figure out my way around J, basically. So, this is the test case I'm trying to pass. I'm trying to build this ORM, and I want to be able to say, like, I got like a left hand. I'm trying to describe like this compound SQL where expression, but it's tricky because the where like code should be known statically, and the params, the args that we're substituting in, should be known dynamically. Can only be known dynamically, but I want to do it all in like an efficient way. And I think what I probably want to do, maybe like call these like static SQL where to string. Maybe like distinguish these like static SQL where to string. Right. And like, oh, or maybe this will do it. Maybe I modify. I feel like if t.type is not equal to type, then t gets null. And really the same thing here. Now are they clever enough? When trying to evaluate a constant type, a non-constant declaration was encountered. On line 4. Here? How did I get here? I kind of wanted to just like reject in this case. I thought that was the point of this. Clearly that's not it. Let's see, so I think what I want is like a SQL where dot, and it's like polymorph. Source struct. Yeah, that's what I care about. And that gives me a type info struct. I just want to make sure that it's equal to the type info of. So SQL where type info. Right, so polymorphic SQL. That gets type info of SQL where. And if these are not equal, so polymorph source struct. Does that equal those two? Then t gets null. Does that help me? Nope, still nothing. For some reason, this modify lambda's body is not queued. I don't even know what that means. Well, that's worrying. So I don't think this modify is going to help me. So let's go back to this, like, we have like a static land and we have a non-static land. Oh, and these are the same things again. Right. So these had to be like sort of nonsense placeholder types. And these also all had to be known at compile time, I want to say. Alright, now what are we up to? Procedure call matches multiple overloads. Matched in 2 places, although, like, it shouldn't. Alright, so maybe really what we do is these should both be static. Still 920. I'm messing with these overloads. T is of type. So what I would have hoped would be that, like, this has like a more specific type here, governed by, yeah. I don't know, can I do like, does that work? Oh. Oh wait, I just had the wrong syntax there, didn't I? I don't know, can I do this? Whoa, that's a different error. Oh yeah, okay. I don't know, let's try it. Just like, how can I express this idea? Ooh, that got worse. Wow, a lot of problems. LHS SQL WHERE is not a member of SQL WHERE. How do we get here? Oh, because this is probably too restrictive now. Yeah. Well, I don't know. why am I trying to do this in such a clever and recursive way? Once we're in this like static business, man, I don't know, we got this type at runtime, right? Let's just like write it all out, huh? Still trying to get just like this compound expression to print. And let's like, I'll just write some procedural code for this maybe. This seems like manageable though, right? Alright, so either way, we're taking, we just want, we have a where, which is of type SQL where or SQL where, and either way it's known at compile time, and I don't know, this might be ambitious, but let's see. We have our type, right? And let's call it static SQL where to string. We have a where, which is type. Alright, and so here, let's do some stuff. So we'll do that. We'll say like if polymorph, so where polymorph type info is going to be type info of SQL where, and where and polymorph type info of SQL where and. Alright, and basically I think that I can just like traverse this like tree of types here and like cast things appropriately and like define getters and stuff. I don't know. This seems like it's gonna be brutal. That'll have to be known statically. And then it means that we'll say like if. Ooh. Yeah, we're not gonna be able to have. Oh wait, maybe we can have variables here. Charlie is awake. It's dog time. We might have to play a little with the dog. Yeah? You wanna play? Look. She's in fine form. Alright. Okay. So I think we can say like if where type info dot like polymorph source struct equals where polymorph. Alright, so like statically. Oh, sorry, Charlie. You okay? She just launched into the air, chasing after the toy. I think she's fine. Alright, so if we're here, then we can say we just want to return. We know that we're like looking at just a literal where, so we can just return that where dot SQL expression. If where type info dot polymorph source struct equals where and polymorph type info. So now we're in this compound case. Then we want to return sprint of this with this like recursively called static SQL where to string of where left hand side and the right hand side. Yeah? Okay. This feels like there's no chance that this could possibly work. Yeah. error. I forgot the colons again. Can't be constant. Okay, so all right, let's like inline these. This seems really unlikely. Okay. In an imperative scope, you can't do this unless you specify all its parameters or it has all default parameters. SQL WHERE as a value in an imperative scope. Oh, yeah, I see. Okay. So I think I can't get its type info unless they have default values. Wait, so what am I supposed to use polymorph source struct for? That's not really useful. That's not really useful. That's not really useful. Nope, nope, nope. Nope, nope, nope. Unhelpful. Alright, what am I supposed to do with this? Let's just like give it some stuff, right? Okay, so we'll say we'll give it a concrete form, and then I don't know. Let's say like default SQL WHERE is gonna be like that, and we'll say default SQL WHERE and is gonna be SQL WHERE and of default SQL WHERE and 0. Okay, so now I can say do these equal and do these equal. Condition of if is not constant, isn't it? Type info, these types? Okay, that's kind of alarming. Whoa, it worked, and the test even passed? This is shocking. I spent so long on this with absolutely no results. This is wild. It's perfect. Okay, I'm gonna build like a more deeply nested one of these, right? Let's go for like condition 1 is gonna be SQL WHERE of ID equals something, and condition 2 is gonna be a SQL WHERE of just this, birthday is between two question marks. And we'll add like a third condition, and we'll say, I don't know, favorite color is something. And we'll add like, let's like 5 full-on conditions. And we're going to join a bunch of things together and make sure that we still get nested correct behavior. Let's go. Like least favorite color ID is like another one. Alright, so we're going to say, and the left-hand side with a pointer to SQL WHERE and of, so this is going to be condition 1, condition 2, and condition 3. And condition 4. Alright, and so now, wait, what am I doing, like, erasing the working test? I'm gonna, like, leave this. I'll say, like, it joins two literal where expressions. And it joins arbitrarily many literal and expressions. Compound where expressions. Okay. These conditions, semicolon there, and now we want to expect SQL where to string of and to equal something ridiculous. Okay, so we start out with ID equals question mark, and then that gets wrapped in an and then in here we've got birthday between and These are going to be wrapped in like another layer of parens. Let me get a closing quote in here. And let me like not worry about closing parens yet. Okay. Birthday, favorite, color, ID equals, and least favorite, color, ID equals. Oh, this is only going to be 1 now. Okay. That gets us there. That. Okay, I think that's it. Semicolons! Ooh, okay, what did I get wrong? This is great. I love a failed spec. To equal that got Whoa, I'm close. Whoa, I'm very close. How did I lose? I just forgot a question mark? No. Alright. The production code was right all along. I just found a question mark in my expectation code. Alright. Huh. Wow. This and business has been taking me forever to figure out. Okay. Well, I kind of want to run an OR now, too. I feel like OR should be just as easy. Right? We've got like a syntax tree going. Oh wait, I think I might need to. Are any of these dollar signs like adding anything? I'm not getting OR yet. Hang on. One thing at a time. I'm not even done speccing this and. So it joins two literal where expressions. It joins arbitrarily many literal and compound where expressions. Alright, let me get some args in here. Okay, so I also want to expect and.args.count to equal 3. And then I want to expect... Oh, and here's how I have to do like the funny casting to get around the any stuff, right? Yes. Expect the dereference of casting to a pointer of some type of and.args bracket that number value pointer to equal and then something. And that first one is 12, and the second one is 1990-0101. And the next one is 2000. This one is going to be cast to an int. This one's going to be cast to a string. Does this still pass? Hey! Alright. And let's try these compound cases as well. But I gotta set some things. Condition 2 dot, let's say args1 gets 1980-0101. And oops, that should have been 0. And this can be 1. I feel like the fact that I picked these for birthday years really outs me as a millennial. Let's say 543 and 654. Alright, so we're now going to have 6 conditions, or 6 args here. I want to check out and. Okay. And at args at count to equal 656. And then like dereferencing of casting to some kind of pointer of args and dot args of something dot value pointer to equal something and 0 1 2 3 4 5 and this is gonna be an int and this is gonna be a string and this is gonna be a string and these are all gonna be ints. 1 2 3 4 5. How did I get to 6? Boy. Alright, and this one is 1 2 3. This one is 1980. This one is 1990. This one is going to be 543, and this one's going to be 654. Alright, let's do it! Hey! Arguments work. Okay, let's play with that a little bit. Let's look at, like, what can we actually do here? I kind of want to find, like, I don't know, has to-dos. So if I run jrecord, it just, like, pulls up the users and the to-dos, which are the only 2 tables that exist in this repo. But you can see that both the to-dos are mapped to user ID 1. So let's, like, write, I don't know, and like one of them is completed. I want to write a query in like composable little bits that's going to figure out like I want users maybe I want like to-dos which are incomplete that belong to user 1, you know, like incomplete. It's going to be a SQL WHERE of, wait, that's not how that works, right? You just define the struct, yeah? Yeah, that's right. Okay. Actually, you know what? I wonder. Like, I wonder if this is what modify is for, where you can like modify and say like args count gets left hand side where dot args count plus right hand side SQL args count. I don't know. We'll get back to that. But this surely means, well, we probably want this function anyway to join the sets of args together and concrete types. Yeah. All right. So SQL where of completed at is null with 0 args, and we want like belonging or with user ID. SQL where of user ID equals something with 1 arg equals 1, let's say. Okay, and so I want to find, maybe I want like todos repo.all. Is a repo.all something that I need now? Well, maybe actually let's like write this up as like a proper unit test in SQL where. Right? Like we should make sure that this can like play nice with a select. Yeah, it seems important. So we'll say like it allows for selecting records with meeting multiple conditions. Yeah, let's say like describe with some to-dos belonging to different users. We'll create some fixture data. And here we're gonna need some like interesting before alls and stuff. I think we'll start with just the same old like connect and rollback business. I do nothing here yet. All right. Okay, so with to-dos belonging to different users. Let's insert some to-dos, yeah? I don't think I care about the results. I think I just want to make sure that that it's like successful. Whatever. Execute into the connection. Insert into users, email, values, user with to-dos at email.org, user without to-dos at email.org. Yeah. And then let's like make that true, because we're going to insert into to-dos with user ID. Oh, that's right. Okay, so user IDs. that. User insert result. Returning ID. Yeah. Looks about right. Okay, cool. Then user with email, user with to-dos ID is going to be user insert result first. User without to-dos ID is going to be the second one. Alright, and then we're going to insert some to-dos for this user and not the other one. Cool. I need the user ID. I think I don't care about the. Actually, you don't care about these results, right? Yeah, okay. Insert into to-dos, user ID. What all is in it to do? Description, completed at. Great. Alright. Description, completed at. Nah, they don't care about those others yet. Values. And the user ID is going to be the first user. Description is going to be create some to-dos. Completed at is going to be now. This one is going to be... Man, can I do that twice? We'll see what happens. Complete the to-dos now. Or no. Seems fine. That seems fine. We don't care about any return type, but we do have one. Why does everything look off? Do my parens not line up? My quotes? There. Okay. And here we need to throw in user with to-dos ID. And we're done. I don't think I actually need that one. Okay, so now at this point we've got a user in the database with that email address. We've got some to-dos in the database, one of which has been completed and one of which has not. After all, we're going to roll it back, and in the body we can get to business and we can say I want to like find a user whose, I don't know, let's say like email address like is going to be, the email address like is going to be a SQL scope, SQL where of email address like, with one arg. We're going to say with email address like .arg0 is going to be user with to-dos. Great. And then with to-dos, with incomplete, it's going to be SQL where, and we're going to say exists. We're going to say something like intense. And this will take 0 args. We'll say exists select star ID from to-dos where to-dos dot equals user's ID. And to-dos dot completed at is null. Yep. And then we're going to separately do like with complete to-dos. And that'll be like is not null. And neither of these take any args. And we're going to say great. Okay, so we're going to say user is a struct of ID email, and all we really care about is email. So we're just going to select the email, and we're going to say SQL select on that. We'll use SQL select here because like it doesn't really make sense not to. And we'll SQL select execute. And we'll SQL select execute on what? We'll need user, users, and SQL where and of with email address like SQL where and of with incomplete to-dos and with completed to-dos. Okay, and then we'll expect to find one user to equal 1. And we'll expect matching users 0.email to equal what we said before, right? Which is user with to-dos at email.org. Oh, right. Where did I forget a semicolon? Definitely there. Probably up here somewhere too. Yep. Oh! Need more pointers? Do I need to do more referencing? Yeah. Oh. Oh boy, type mismatch wanted. Pointer to SQL where, type given, pointer to SQL where and. Alright, alright, alright. From SQL select. Oh, I see. How about that? Uh-oh, this looks worse. Yeah, alright. So I think that toString that we're calling, we should really make more specific. Yeah. Alright, let's call this like a SQL select toString. Great. Okay, okay. Type wanted a pointer to SQL where, because here I also say I need a SQL where. Bam, bam. Make it any generic type. Ooh. Email address does not exist. Oh yeah, because it's just email. Uh-oh. Panic? Panic isn't good. Expected it to equal 1, got 0. And then we blew up. Huh. Okay, okay, that's a predictable panic. That's a nice panic. Am I still in a describe block here? I am, right? Okay, so I think I want to say like it. Um, um, when used with SQL select execute returns records matching the matching compound criteria. Yeah, that seems like what I want to test here. And I'm surprised that like expect doesn't like break us out of the scope. We say if these two things match, then we return, and then we set any failures to true. And then here's like about where we'd probably want to like interject and say like, fail this one it though. I don't know if that's easy. Yeah, we'll just let this panic happen. We'll fix that later. Alright, like, stop executing a specific it after an expect fails. That seems like a useful thing to do later. Okay, but what we actually want to say is like, let's like figure out, let's like print out what we're trying to do here. Whew. Alright, before we actually get here, let's like do this. And for args, what? Oh, that shouldn't have been a run. It should have been a code. Okay, what are we doing here? Select that or email like one, and that's the end? No, that's a different test. This is the one. Select email from users or emails like this and exists, blah, blah, blah. I mean, that looks pretty close with to-dos. Select email from users. Do I have a formatter? No, I never do. Let me just like sneak this in and run the query. Select ID from to-dos, where to-dos, that. And select ID from to-dos. Alright, and if I had a total panic, I wonder if the data like stuck around in the database. It seems likely. No, it didn't. Weird. Okay, well, I think this is still like valid 0. Where there exists. Okay, let me like stretch this out a little. And this exists. And this exists. Kind of like and being at the beginning of a new line. I don't know, man. I don't know. This looks like almost exactly what I want. Oh, but the email. Okay, let's like replace this with someone at email.org. I'll just like replace it with like email. Yeah, we got one. Okay. Alright, these conditions seem like credible. What do we think is going on here? Anybody have thoughts on what's going wrong? Am I not inserting the users or to-dos the way that I thought I was? Maybe that's it. I'm not like I'm not like a, oops, my HomeKit. Hope that wasn't like a dangerous thing to let leak on the internet, that I use a HomeKit. Okay, so we're defining a select of a user, which is just email. All this seems fine. Right, what I was worried about is, are these bits insert into users, values, these two things, returning ID, yeah, do I have to do this? I mean, that is a bit worrying that I was just like able to embed a struct in here. I wonder if that was like doing just like an opaque pointer. Ho! It worked. That was it. I think it was just like shipping garbage data in. That's a little worrying. Because this is just like an auto declaration, and this is always any. And if you get an any, and I'm just like too stringing it, maybe I should be stricter on that. But I think this worked. Yeah? Alright, there's like an ergonomic win that I hope I can get here though, where the fact that we need to build up these ands in this ugly way, not ideal. So I wonder, oh, but yeah, it's not going to get much better than this. We have like vararg's type erasure business, which means that like we can't do better. Maybe you could like metaprogram your way out of that with like a macro or something. Probably have to like walk a syntax tree though. Probably have to like print some generated code. Probably have to do some terrible things. Yeah, because even like macros erase the types or find like a parent type of like an array that you can throw things into. That smoothie was much more delicious when it was cold. Alright though. Oh, I should get rid of some of those prints that I added. Wow, I'm like so impressed that things are working. I love it. How does my generated code look like? Is it bananas? It's getting there. It's grown. We got hundreds of lines. But this is all just test code. I guess I have virtually no production code, so maybe this makes sense. Cool. Let me check this diff again. This is just my where spec, which is great. Yep. This I made names less ambiguous, which seems like a good idea. Polymorphing everything. And deleting dead code. Where's and oh wait, no, I guess like ands on where's. Love it. What a great time. What a time to be writing code. SQL and, which like obviously suggests that we could do SQL or. And then this, SQL where's expression string building at compile time. I think I did this? Did I? Yeah. right when I get here, I return this run, and like, I don't know, I imagine I could like print it, yeah? Static SQL where to string, maybe if I just like, in here, right, I could like print. This is a bit recursive though, yeah? So probably what I want to do is like, print it, and then return it. Print it, and then return it. And if I do this, wow, look at these where strings. Look what a great like citizen I'd be capable of being. I could hand all these where conditions off. Oh, I just realized all these where conditions exist outside of the context of like tables. uh, One of my goals, I don't know who's even like paying attention right now, whatever. One of the goals of this thing that I've been working on is that we could like one common problem with like high level and real expressive like ORMs is that like platform engineering types will like struggle with like not knowing what's actually being run in production. And something I've been playing with is like it'd be cool if we had like as a use case we could say like we have this like hard requirement that like to do just we need to be able to hand an artifact off to like an SRE team or like a platform engineering team of like all of the SQL that our program might be able to evaluate against production. And like this is a neat trick that like, so you can see this is just running the compiler. This wasn't running the actual program. But if I do run the actual program, we shouldn't see, yeah, we're like using these where expressions. Mostly just this ID equals 1 because we're just using find in the actual program here. But you can see that at compile time when I'm doing this step, we emit all of the like where conditions that we might actually run in the body of a SQL select or update or insert. I guess not insert or delete though, which means that there's like the chance of us we could like right in an ideal world hand this off to an SRE team and let the SRE team run this artifact against some sort of like indexing or query planner automation tool, and it could say like, oh whoa, you got some, it's possible for your code to generate a sequential scan that might bring down the app or something. Which that'd be a really cool magic trick to be able to pull that off. So I think like this is obviously not the most like ergonomic code base to work with right now. Like especially like I don't know. This is a bummer. Having to like build up a tree of ands is really yuck. But it's not so bad. And I wonder if in SQL select, like part of me wonders, so the places where we call SQL where to string, like, so that is certainly known. This is going to delegate to something that's known at compile time. This is weirdly, like I did this in a funny way, right? But like this is also a compile time constant we pass in here. And the from, like it wouldn't be hard to say that like the from is also, that all these things must be compile time constants, right? And I think at least in the code that I've written so far, that's true. And so if this is the case, we could say, like we bake all these things, and right, we could print. Oh, this is gonna kind of suck though, because we're gonna have to like, I guess all these like the type and this from and this select, like right. What we'd have to do is like, I don't know. Maybe this is worth it. Yeah. I think one of my biggest things in this that I'm excited about in this language, but also really have a hard time getting my bearings on is like how much of this is a good idea, you know? This will likely result, since this is baked and that's baked and that's baked. This will, well, if this even compiles. Yeah, SQL string where, closures are not supported. Oh, yep, oh, well, but maybe I could just like, yeah. I mean, I'm not above doing something like if, oh. I guess here I just like return like an empty string. I don't know. Whew! 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 Look how crispy this is! Whoa! There it is, all the selects that this app is capable of generating. Right? Wow! I'm actually very excited about that. This is like I thought this was gonna be much harder. I assume this would be like an hour or two of work in order to get this to the position of being able to like emit just that, right? Like this is that tricky compound multi-way, like this is the hard test that I wrote. Select email from users where, and then this like thing with like a couple of subselects in it. What a world we live in. All right. Well, like now what, huh? So, I don't know if I really want to. I certainly don't want to keep this, right? But this is, man, this is like a magic trick. Check it out. Like, the code path that resulted in this being known constantly at compile time is like not at all. It's like a super, like, I don't know. I just have like this little snippet. Oh no, it's like this stuff down here, right? I've just got like this snippet and this snippet. We glue them together with like this little bit. And then, but we can like see that like this select, we like define the select struct, which has an email, right? But like we didn't need to write, there's like some boilerplate here, right? But like, man, this is like relatively terse, right? Like, and I would imagine that in like a more mature like implementation of something, right? Like as I get more features, like I don't know, the active record equivalent is like, you know, this kind of a SQL where you don't define with all this boilerplate all over the place. You consume like a function call, and it's easy. It's like very easy to imagine defining like a constructor like syntax that will like new up these things, instantiate them, fill them up with args or whatever, and just life is good. Yeah. Okay. I'm definitely breaking rules in this language. It just occurred to me that I have not thought about memory management yet ever, which is sacrilege. But you know, just wrap stuff in a pool allocator, right? That's how it works, isn't it? Wrong terminal. What have I done since? Oh yeah, okay. Statically allocate. Statically did like compute select expressions. Whew. What a day. I woke up kind of grumpy. I won't go to bed grumpy. Or at least I'm not ending the stream grumpy. Yeah. I've got cool stuff. These wares. Okay, so, I don't know. What's next? I could do or. That's done. Also, like, SQL selects. Expression string building is also done at compile time. What was I thinking? Repo features? That sounds great. Yeah, okay. So, this code base is still the only chunk that's actually consuming, like, this higher level tool that I started out trying to build, and then almost immediately realized it's going to take forever to build. To build good stuff. Like, I just needed a lot more features. Yeah, so maybe I'll just like add some stuff here. What do I want this API to be? Could be like, so there's find, which gives an ID. I don't know. Should I do like find all? We could just make all. Maybe like an all seems nice, right? All is gonna take a where condition, and this will be some where, which is gonna return a pointer to an array of select.record. I'll just return an array of select.record. Yeah. This seems like a great idea. And then I think what I want to do here is like wrap this up a little bit. Say like find is going to want to delegate to all, but we'll go here. And this is just going to return records true. If records is 0, we're actually good in this case. Alright, we have our select, we have our table name, and we have our where. This should take a pointer. Yeah? And if success returned false, great. Cool, and then just return errors, return records true. Great, and then find here, we have our own scope. We can say, I don't know, does all exist? I don't know. I don't know how this works. Can we refer to ourself in here? So records all success is going to be repo.all of with ID, yeah? If not, all success, return null, false. This wants to be an empty array. If records.count is not equal to 1, return null, false. And otherwise, just like return a pointer to record 0, true. Do you want find? That's fine. Alright, does this still build? No. I'm missing a closing paren. Huh? Pointed to where. Oh yeah, this isn't at all how this is written. Yeah, completely wrong. Whew. Things got weird. Oh yeah. We've already taken a pointer, we don't have to double dereference. Oh, okay. Alright. Cool. Cool. I don't know, if I just look up all users. That seems like the wrong way to do it. I feel like these frees are not a good idea. I'll just get rid of them for now. Else. Print, success, false. What am I even doing? Users. Alright, this is a bizarre way to put it. Oh, that's right, because I was like shoveling in. And I'll say this equals null. Does that work? No. Because there's no T polymorph. Oh, where should be able to be null? What am I doing here? SQL select line 56. Huh? What is it, like, if where's void? Alright, well, if where's not null, then, like, casted where, let me cast where is like a pointer to a SQL where. Yep. Default. Oh, that's gonna go poorly, isn't it? Yeah. Okay, so I think what we want to say is like if t I think that we probably need like a okay, so I've been sort of worried about this in the back of my head and was surprised this didn't bite me sooner. I think that the problem here is that this is like such an unbounded type. If you pass null into it, it's like, I don't know anything about what this is. Which means if you then try to like dereference args, even in this case, which is like pretty like, it's like, you know, I can tell that this is safe. The compiler is like, well, look, args doesn't exist on void. I don't know what even code to generate here. And like the type is void, but the compiler doesn't know that the only way, like the only code path that results in the type of where being a void pointer is when where is null. Like the compiler doesn't know that. So I don't know, like I guess I could say like if type of where is like not equal to like void, then return where.args, not type of where is not equal to like a pointer to void. You know, but like type of where is like, does that work? Yeah, that's pretty bad. Attempted to reference void, right? Like it's like not clever enough. I guess I could do like this. Then like args gets that. Yeah, okay. That surprisingly did work. Although it felt pretty bad. Alright, let's get to line 18. So, that's right. So here, we want to say like if run type info on where dot, what do I care about is like type is not equal to struct return empty string. Yeah, we're gonna have to do a lot of casting, aren't we? That didn't feel great, but it worked. Whoo! We got both the users. This is kind of astonishing. Yeah, so okay, if it's not a struct, get out of here. I wonder if I can do like an else. Yeah, I doubt the compiler is that clever. Wow. Alright, we got an all. Oh, we probably need like a repo spec, don't we? Ugh, so boring. Let's like think about, I feel like before I write specs, I kind of want to think a little bit more about this API and like figure out what feels good. Yeah, maybe I'll implement like a first. That seems like a nice thing to have. Pointer. I feel like I'm surprised these constants don't require semicolons. This language seems to have a little bit of an inconsistent head about semicolon behavior. Alright, so for this first, man, what we'd really like is to say like limit 1 in the SQL query that we're hitting. But we don't have support for that yet, so I'm not going to do that yet. Okay. I think we need some kind of like mutations, right? We got like update, we need to have create. Let's like take a look at the diff. We just built repo all, life is good. We wrap some things up in null checking. Man, this is like pretty exciting. Let's call repo to all is done. I feel like those sound nice, and maybe we want just like repo.save. Okay, I'm gonna take a quick bio break. And I will return. I wonder if this one viewer that Twitch says I have is actually here. Or is a robot. Alright, BRB. Whew. Done with that. Alright, what's next? So, the fun stuff is really all about, I mean, there's like a ton of fun stuff, huh? Like, associations are pretty far down the road, right? I guess I'm just trying to think through, like, strategically, I am beginning to think that it's probably a good idea to aim for the parts that I'm, like, less certain about. That, like, I don't know, I've written enough code in this language that I think it is surprisingly, like, astonishingly flexible in a lot of ways. It has some rough edges that, like, I bet are a combination of it being very new and it being, wow, this is really, I love it. This is just each of my tables. Just generated code for them. Oh, what a great setup this is. Pretty proud of myself. Wonder what that's about. Oh yeah, I remember that. That was just from like a run command. Okay, let's get these specs out of the way. So yeah, okay, to the extent that this is an experiment to see, like, is this a viable tool for, like, building web apps, like, surely I won't be able to build a web app without having, like, a create in some sort of thing that represents, like, a table, right? But, like, like, what am I trying to say here? My mind just went completely blank. Like, I'm gonna need to be able to create records in a table. I'll need to be able to support, like, CRUD. But, like, everything supports CRUD, right? That's not the hard part. That's not the part where this could shine. The first thing that I was curious about that I wanted to see if this could shine is SQL WHEREs. And while this was super complicated and is like I needed to do like a million contortions to find the syntax that the compiler supports for generating the code to do this thing which I wanted it to do, like we're here, you know? Like we have like a where expression is made up of sort of like string of like a literal where and a where that's an and of two other wheres. We made it. And so like given all that, and even our selects are computed statically. The SQL is locked down in some interesting ways. That was like a good test, right? It was like pushing, can this framework, can this programming language express ideas which are unexpressible in, let's say, Ruby? Because you just never know in Ruby. Like, there's no static analysis to like look through code paths and figure out the ways that different scopes may be combined and stuff. And like notably, right, this doesn't just take like the cross of every single where, um, right? Like it was just thoughtfully composing and like pre-computing wheres. Oh, they're not here anymore, right? I got rid of that. But when I was like printing out the SQL, it was thoughtfully printing out just the SQL that was like actually going to be that was like reachable by code, which is a huge boon. I think that's good. I think that's like a big deal. Um, it's like, what's the next big deal? Like I don't know. Is it like active record style associations and n+1 busting and like query planning? Um, is it like to the extent that we care about like something like an RL syntax, right? Like I believe we'll be able to consume the tree of RL, the tree of like wheres and stuff, and like you know squish them all into the right structure. And that if we do get like increasingly convoluted ways to express them, that will be, barking down the same tree. It's like, what's the next interesting question? There's a lot of questions that I have about how expressive we can get in terms of like typecasting values to be representable in Postgres, where like one thing that Rails does really well is you like as a consumer of some data, as a consumer of active record, it's like not really on you to think about ways that you convert. So like what like this problem that has come up a million times is that we kind of have like one way binding where we can read this date out from the database and we just parse it into a string. But when we try to go write it back into the database, we've like erased that context that this is actually like a date time. J doesn't have an implementation of date, so there's just like not a great story for what do we do with this. Like it's just like an opaque string that I can see is obviously formatted like a time. But like, so it'd be cool if we could support some of that, right? Like get some typecasting in. In Rails, it's called typecast. In Active Record, they call it typecast. I think that's probably the wrong. We certainly wouldn't use that word in this language because that, like, we actually have types and you can actually cast them, and it is actually a system language that where those words mean something already. So we probably call this like serialization or something. But right, like, should we allow? And if we do allow that kind of serialization, like at what level? Does it live at the level of like a SQL update or insert? Like, is it like a concern of a type of an insertable fields? I mean, it's easy to imagine that, you like specify, like in here, right? We just call these like float and string and int, but you might say like, you might like give it some like strategy for serialization, right? Or even just like a PG type. I think I want to sit with that a little bit longer. I don't know exactly. I have like no idea what I would like that to be. I do think that a SQL insert might be a good spot to do that. Although, like, we do remain bound by choices that I made in this implementation, where like whatever I choose, I'm gonna need to mess around through here, because like in like send query, I'm just doing sprint on the arg. So like here I would need to do something cleverer. Although if the arg is already a string and I sprint it in, maybe that's fine, and that's okay. So like maybe if your serialization stuff returns a string that you're sure Postgres knows how to handle, it'll be just like all right. But then like this is the real problem here, is that we also need to be able to specify a PQ type, where it seems like maybe it's becoming a worse and worse idea to have this args be like a proper J any, you know? Like maybe inferring these type mappings from a J any is not a great call. And that what we really want is to pass in some args that are like conditionally, I don't know, maybe we like adopt Postgres' style and have like types, right? Or like PQ types. Right, like maybe we want this, and we say that like the types has to be the same length of args, and if it's null, then we'll just assume the same for everything, and you know. All right, typecasting seems like there are a couple of options, but like that's not what I really want to do right the second. Let me think. It's 5:30. This might really just be like a great stopping point for the day, if I'm really being honest. It's supposed to start raining at some point today. Don't really want to get stuck in the rain when I'm walking the dog. I have a little bit of time. Oh, but that's right. I have a 6 p.m. event. I think now is a stopping point. I think I'm bailing. I think I got some good stuff done. I'm gonna check out for a little while. Yeah. All right. Well, I think that's all for today. As always, the code's up on GitHub. kfin/jrecord. See everybody later.